Welcome back to the Relationship Refinery, where I'm here to help you redefine as well as refine the way that you view healthy relationships. I'm Aisha Tisdale, a marriage and family therapist associate, so I have a lot of background and information on relationships. As a marriage and family therapist associate, I work with couples as well as foster children and their foster families to help them improve their relationships. So who better to help you redefine and refine the way that you view them? I'm starting a new series where we're going back to the basics and learning and being able to identify what love is, what it looks like, how we can be loved towards other people, particularly when it comes to our family, so children and parent relationship, as well as in romantic relationships. I will be posting 2 videos every week, one on Mondays. On Mondays is where I'm going to be identifying, like I said, that parent and child relationship. So this is for those who already have children or desire children, as well as you are a child, you are somebody's child. Maybe you didn't grow up in a healthy environment or with a healthy relationship with your parent, and you're wanting to process that, what that looks like, what that love is. You grew up thinking that this was love, and you're not sure if it was, and so you're not wanting to pass that down to your children. This video is for you. Then the other one on Thursday will be the more of the romantic side of things. So if you are currently in a romantic relationship, you're looking to begin a romantic relationship, or maybe that's not even on your mind right now, but you still want to gather more information as to what love is, then that video is for you. Of course, before we get started, make sure that you hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell. Not for me, not because I'm just looking to have more followers, but for you, because like I said, we're going back to the basics, and my goal with the Relationship Refinery is to really help you to discover what it truly means to be loved and what it means to love, because a lot of us, we don't have positive role models. So like I said, make sure that you subscribe as well as hit the notification bell. In this video, I'm going to be addressing ways to love your children, or to love your family. I'm going to be talking about children, but these are things that can be applied to family and friends. And make sure you also, if you're married or if you're dating or you're looking to date, looking to get married, make sure you check out the video on, loving your significant other. So before we get into it, it's important for us to address the fact that 1 Corinthians 13, 1 through 3, the first part of, 1 Corinthians 13, talks about that we can do anything, like all the things that it's saying. We can prophesy, we can, share the gospel, we can do multiple things, but if we're not doing it with love, we're just noisy gongs. We're just clanging cymbals, which means we're just noise. Like, nobody's gonna hear us. You can say all day long, that you want better things for your children, that you want them to grow up and be successful. But if you're not doing it with love, it's going in one ear and out the other. And I have to talk to some parents about this very thing. Quite literally, I've had conversations with parents because they feel like love is discipline. And don't get me wrong, a part of loving your children is disciplining them. We all know the famous scripture, spare the rod, spoil the child. I know, I'm sure you heard it before. But this scripture is, 1 Corinthians 13 is teaching you how to also love your children. So you can spare the rod and spoil the child, or you cannot spare the rod. But if you're not doing it in love, all you're doing is beating them. And it's going to create a tough outer shell for them. It's going to teach them that that's what love is, that's abuse. And so sometimes, abuse. And so sometimes those children grow up and they get into abusive relationships or toxic relationships. It might not be physically abusive, it might be mentally or financially or, verbally abusive, because that's what they think love is. Because I don't know if you know this or not, but parent-child relationships really sets the foundation for other relationships. So when you have an unhealthy relationship with your child, then they tend to grow up and, have unhealthy friendships, unhealthy romantic relationships, as well as unhealthy relationships with their children. So it's super important. And the great thing about children is that they are resilient, but it's super important for you to really take the time out to understand how to do things, I don't want to say the proper way, because there's no one way to raise a child. But anyway, so as we are going through this, we're just talking about the first 2 characteristics of love, the first 2 ways that it is described that love is, or what love is. So it says love is patient and love is kind. Let's take a look at the definition of patience and kindness from the Oxford Dictionary. So it says patience, the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, trouble, or suffering without getting angry or upset. How often are you getting upset with your child? And I know you may say, okay, but I'm tired of repeating myself to them over and over and over and over again. So yeah, they only respond to me, they only act right when I cuss them out or when I threaten to whoop them. And I have heard that before multiple times as well. When's the last time you spent time with your child? I mean, quality one-on-one time with them. How do you think things would be different if instead of yelling at them, you practice being patient? And I'm not saying, listen, I'm not saying that gentle parenting, I'm an advocate for gentle parenting, but I'm also an advocate for, old school, old fashioned parenting. There has to be a healthy balance, and you cannot raise the same, each child the same. So I'm not saying, what the patient thing would be to just 1, 2, don't make me say 3, 2 and the 10th. You're gonna make me go to 3. I'm not saying do it like that. But what I am saying is just having that patience with the child. Understand that your child is growing. Like your child is, especially if you have toddlers, they are learning everything, okay? You as however old you are, you have decades of experience over them. So when you're expecting for them to do certain things that they just don't have a handle on just yet, and you're getting frustrated because they don't know how to regulate their emotions yet, because they're crying all the time and everything, or you're getting frustrated because they keep peeing on themselves, or you're getting frustrated because they're messy. They keep leaving things in the floor and they keep doing this. You have to understand, first of all, children's attention span is like this. Okay, their brain is not developed. Do some research on what a toddler's brain is like, and you will understand, oh, that's the reason why they're so forgetful. Oh, that's the reason why they are so, the reason why they are, they can't regulate their emotions in healthy ways. It's because they literally can't, and some kids can do it better than others. But having patience with that child is going to teach them to have patience later on, further on down the line, modeling that. Children are sponges, and everything that you say and do, they are taking that in. So when you're yelling at them for making a mistake, it can teach them further on down the line, okay, I can't make a mistake. I have to be perfect. And so they might not even shoot for the stars, because if I shoot for the stars, I'm going to make a mistake. So I'm just going to have these low goals. Or they may start seeking validation from you, from other people. Everything they do, they need an award, they need a recognition, because they want to make you proud, because you didn't have patience with them in the learning stages, or to where they feel like that their accomplishments are insignificant. Have patience with your children so that they can have patience with themselves, so they can have patience with other people. Like, imagine this world if we all were patient with one another. This world would be so much better, right? So like I said, remember that your children are learning new things. Your teens, even if you're like, okay, well, I don't have toddlers, but I have teenagers. Your teens they're discovering a whole new world and a whole new lens. By the time your child becomes a teen, their brain has, there's a, try not to get too technical, but there's a part of the brain that does not fully mature until about the age of 25. And that part of the brain controls the emotions. Or is more emotional, is more emotional. So that's why your teen is just like melting when a friend says they don't want to be friends no more, or when a boy a boy or girl that they thought they liked is going to the spring fling with somebody else, because they can't regulate their emotions. So I need you to remember what that was like when you were a teen, or you might not be able to remember what it was like as a toddler, but remember, have empathy with them, and just that will help you to have patience with them. Now, as we're defining kindness, it says the quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate. How often are you considerate of your child? And I don't mean, well, I'm considerate of them because, instead of me hanging out with my friends, I'm at home. But are you spending time with them? Are you doing the things that they want to do? Are you watching movies that they want to watch? And I'm not saying all the time. I'm not saying let your child run everything, but spending some one-on-one time with them and being considerate and friendly When they get in the car from school, are you yelling at them? Yeah, your teacher called me and da 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 da. Ask them, how was your day at school? Okay, we're going to address what your teacher said, but tell me about your day. Or are you, why is your shirt all dirty and all wrinkled? I didn't send you to school looking like that. Is that what you wore? I didn't even, I had to go to work, and so they went on the bus, and so I'm looking at them, and why did you wear that to school? You weren't supposed to. As soon as they get in a car from school, you yelling at them. Or as soon as they wake up in the morning, hurry up and get ready for school. You about to be late, and then it's gonna make me late. Da, da, da. Are you kind to them even when you're frustrated? Like, I understand your emotions are valid as a parent, but what are some ways that you can regulate your own emotions so that you're being kind to your children? Once again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't yell at them, or that you're not going to get frustrated, or that you're not going to discipline them. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is, your children got a lot on them too. You may say, well, they ain't got nothing like what I got, and that's cool. Y'all got two different capacities. Burdens that you carry would break your child, right? Your teen, your toddler, your child, whatever age that they are. But I'm sure it would make things a whole lot. Like, imagine the weight that you have, and you have somebody who is more of an authority figure over you, who's constantly yelling at you or making it seem like you can never do anything wrong. Your room ain't never clean. You ain't never doing the dishes or doing your chores. Your outfit's not matching. I'm just getting tired of talking to you. I'm getting tired of looking at you. I'm through with you. Like, how would that make you feel when you got this weight on you? That would not make you feel good either. But a kind word, imagine somebody coming to you and saying, hey, just how are you doing? What's going on with you at work? What's going on in your romantic life? What's going on in your mind? What's going on in your body? Let's just have a conversation. Let me listen to you. You talk about anything you want to talk about, and let me just hear you. Let me just be a present and kind person right here, right here, right now. Imagine what that would do for you. No, it's not taking away the load, but like, that might make you feel seen and feel heard. So that's what I feel like kindness is to your children, is helping them to feel seen and building up their confidence, not tearing them down. Once again, the relationship they have with you is setting the foundation for other relationships that they're going to have in the future. The way that I hear parents talking to their children, it's just, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart so much, because it just, once again, you wouldn't let your boss talk to you the way that you talk to your kids or any other person. You wouldn't let as an adult, you would not let your mama or your dad talk to you the way that you talk to your kids. But some parents have that, that power thing, to where they're like, I'm above you, so I can do anything, I can say anything to you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. And that's not fair. Talk to your kids like they are children of God. Speak positivity into your children, okay? Do things for them. Yeah, do things outside of the things you're supposed to do. Well, I buy them clothes, and I provide food for them, and I make sure that they go to school, looking decent, and I pay the bills, and they got a house. Those are all things you're supposed to do, okay? Go above and beyond for your kids. Stop by their favorite store and buy them some candy or their favorite treat or something. Just like be kind, be present for them. I cannot express to you enough. Like I said, this is somebody who works with children. I work with children and couples, or I work with foster children, foster families, and couples as a family marriage therapist associate, if you forgot that. I cannot express to you enough the changes that children make in school and at home, in behavior and emotions and in self-esteem, when their parents spend one-on-one time with them. Yes, y'all may live together, y'all may speak to each other in passing, but do you really know your child? Do you know their favorite color? Do you know what their best friends' names are? Do you know, the things that are keeping them up at night? You tell them good night, you go in your room, and you don't even know that your child lays in bed at night staring at the ceiling because they got a lot on their mind. Spend one-on-one time with them, doing things that they enjoy doing. Even if it's like, baby, I don't understand how to use this Xbox, this PlayStation, this, let them teach you. I'm sure they would love to whoop you in a game. Okay? Like, just to step into the world for a second, instead of always requiring them to be so serious or to be on your level, to be an adult or be more mature than they actually need to be. Speak to your, I cannot emphasize this enough, speak to your child as if they are a child of God. Like I said, speak positivity into them and affirmations into them and tell them how loved they are. Also, that's another thing that breaks my heart, and I thought that this was normal, but growing up my parents told me they loved me every day. That was something we did every day, is we hugged and we kissed and we said goodnight and I love you before we went to bed every night. And then as an adult, I speak to some people and even some couples to where they're like, yeah, we didn't grow up telling each other we loved each other. We didn't grow up, hugs and kisses and things like that. And so now in my romantic relationship, it's kind of, my wife or my husband is not feeling the love because that's not how I grew up. Or now I don't really know how to love them in the way that they want to be loved or need to be loved because that's not the way I grew up. No, tell your kids that you love them. Don't buy them things. I mean, sure, buy them things if you want to, but tell them you love them. Show them you love them. That's why we're going through this series, so that you can, learn how to love. But saying all this, I feel I'm going, off track. But the point that I was trying to make was that please speak to your children positively, because the power of your tongue has life and death in it. And there are a lot of parents who are killing their kids based on the things that they say. And I really hope that you are not one of those kids. And don't be too proud to apologize. You want them to apologize to their brother. You want them to apologize to you. But you feel like because you're an adult, you can't apologize to your child. Apologize when you are wrong. That, once again, you're modeling behavior for them. If you don't apologize, you got too much pride to apologize. What is that teaching them? Oh, I ain't got to apologize. I'm not in the wrong. But when you are humble enough to say, you know what, I was wrong, baby. I'm so sorry. Mama is sorry. Dad is sorry. You're teaching them how to apologize and make change behavior. So anyway, and all of that, everything that I just said, it's just super important that you realize and recognize that in order to be patient with your children, is you sometimes have to get on their level. You have to practice empathy, put yourself in their shoes. So that's your homework. If you are impatient with your children, practice being patient with other people. Notice the times when you are impatient at work. Note if you need to, before you come in the house after work, you've been dealing with people all day, if you need to park your car and take a walk around the neighborhood before you walk in the door to, recenter yourself, to calm down so that you can have patience for your children, then that's what you need to do. You can't give patience and kindness to everybody else outside of the world and then come home and be verbally unkind and just, like I said, killing your children with the words that you say or with the lack of kindness that is in the house. You can't do that. So just my homework for you is to pay attention to the times that you are impatient, the times that you are unkind, even when they are upsetting you, and find alternatives to it. So use I statements. This is something I encourage couples to do, but it's something you can do as a family as well. I statements are, I feel this way. When you do this, this is what I would like instead. I feel unimportant. I feel unloved. I feel scared. It makes me nervous when I ask you to do something and you're just blatantly defiant, because I want so much in this world for you. I want you to have the world, but I know that if you can't manage your responsibilities at home, you're not going to be able to manage things in life. Use those I statements. Like I said, I feel nervous, I feel scared, I feel unimportant when I tell you to do things and you just completely ignore them. I'm not telling you to do these things because I don't want nothing bad to happen, or because I don't want you to have fun. I'm telling you these things because I don't want nothing bad to happen to you. Don't be afraid to explain things to your children. Don't be that type of parent that's like, because I said so. Kids are curious. Like I said, they're new to this world. They're learning things. You've been on this earth, decades ahead of them. They want to know why. Why can't I go to the party? Oh, well, mama, why can't I do this? Encourage them to be curious and don't be afraid to explain things. So when it comes to, like I said, impatience, just practice being impatient through empathy, through I statements. When it comes to kindness, watch your words, watch what you say. Do not cuss at your kids. I hate when I'm in the store and I hear somebody cussing at their kids. Oh my gosh, dude, what is that? And then you surprised because you get phone calls from teachers, or you want to whoop them because you getting phone calls from the school that your child is cussing other students out or cussing teachers out. Well, where do you think they get it from? Come on, let's be for real here. Anyway, going back to the homework, your homework is to pay attention to the times that you are unkind and impatient with your children, and to figure out ways to practice deep breathing. I have videos where I'm talking about box breathing, where I'm talking about grounding exercise. I'm talking about deep breathing and grounding exercises. Those are things that you can do to help yourself to calm down. If you need to go for walks, if you need to journal, if you need to meditate, and do these things in front of your kids so they can see that when mama gets upset, she does this. Okay, when I get upset, maybe I should also do that. Once again, your children are sponges. You're modeling behavior. I'm not saying go into a corner and go, ooh, okay, remember what Asia said. Remember what Asia said. Show them. Tell them, you know what? Right now I'm feeling very impatient. And I really want to cuss you out. I really want to go off on you. I really want to whoop you. But I'm going to go over here and I'm going to calm down. And we're going to try this conversation again. And I suggest you do the same thing. So I'm going to go to my room. You go to your room. Let's take 20 minutes to calm down, and let's come back and have this conversation, okay? You can say it just like that. I hope you found this informational. Once again, if you have children, make sure you practice these things. And if you don't have children but you want children, now is the time for you to be practicing patience and kindness. It doesn't start once you have kids. It starts now, okay? But if you already have kids, you can start it right now, even if your children are adults. Now, the only thing with having adult children is it takes two to tango. They might not want to reconcile the relationship, and that's something that you unfortunately are going to have to deal with. You know, maybe y'all can go to family therapy together to work through that, but if not, you know, that just, unfortunately, it just kind of is what it is. But I'm Asia from the Relationship Refinery, once again helping you to redefine as well as refine the way that you view healthy relationships. Make sure that you like this video. Leave a comment about what are some ways that you are practicing patience and kindness with your children, or what do you plan on doing this week to practice patience and kindness. Send some encouragement in the comment section below, because you know it's not easy. It is not easy to be patient with toddlers or teens, or children in general. I know. So send somebody some encouragement, and like I said, subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when I post the next videos. Until next time.